them had brought their wives to town, and now and then a red or a plaid shawl flashed out of one store into the shelter of another. At the hitch bars along the street, a few heavy workhorses, harnessed to farm wagons, shivered under their blankets. About the station, everything was quiet, for there would not be another train until night.
Thank you. That was really well read. You guys, what is she writing about here?
Not a lot.
Yes.
A town on the prairie?
A town on the prairie. And what's it like there?
Awful.
Yes. Right. Oh, what were we going to say?
No, he ain't.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad, right? It's cold, it's desolate, it's remote, there's no one really around, so she gives us all these details to figure this out. So let's look at the first sentence. So what we have here is personification, right? The town is trying not to be blown away, right? It takes on the quality of a person, because a town can't really try anything, right? So that's the first thing we need to fix. We need to get rid of the personification, all right? Okay, so, because that's kind of a cool writing trick. So let's make the subject of this sentence something else. What else is going on in that sentence?
Wind.
Rather windy.
Oh, that looks like a great first sentence. The wind is blowing. Where is it blowing?
Nowhere.
Well,
On a Nebraska tableland.
well, Nebraska's tableland is just too good. I think we need something more basic.
Through the town.
Ditch.
Nebraska.
A ditch.
Through the town of Hanover.
A
The wind
Nebraska.
is blowing through the town of Hanover.
A flat Nebraska hill.
Yeah, flat Nebraska.
You guys, that's too descriptive. We're trying to make this bad. The wind. What about the second sentence? What's good about that sentence? What about that word huddled? I think that's a pretty awesome word, isn't it? Because what do you do when you're huddling? What are you doing? You're cold, right? And so the buildings, it makes the buildings seem like they're cold. So we have to get rid of that word huddled. It's just too good.
We could
okay?
say that bucketfuls of snowflakes were tumbling over the
Thanks for making it too good.
It's too good. We need to make it worse. So what's it doing in that sense? What's the main thing that
The snow's
that
falling on the houses.
The snow is falling. I like that. The snow is falling on the houses. What about the third sentence? The dwelling houses were set about haphazard on the tough prairie side. Some of them looked as if they had been moved in overnight, and others as if they were straying off by themselves, headed straight for the open.
Houses were laid around no particular order.
Yeah.
Let's make it even worse. What about, like, there were some houses?
A handful of houses were huddled across.
Let's make it really basic. There were some houses. And that's just about the most boring
Snow was falling.
sentence ever, right? All right, none of them had any appearance of permanence, and the howling wind blew under them as well as over them.
All of them looked
There was nothing special.
What?
The houses were falling apart.
It was all dull.
I like
Y'all
that.
look pretty.
The dull houses were falling apart. The main street was a deeply rutted road, now frozen hard, which ran from the squat red railway station and the grain elevator at the north end of town to the lumber yard and the horse pond at the south
There's a
end.
road that went through the town.
Perfect. Love it. Again, we have a super boring beginning. There was a road that went through the town. I'm sorry about my terrible handwriting. Okay, what's the next one? On either side of the road straggled two uneven rows of wooden buildings. And then she names a bunch of buildings.
There were some roads
There were
on
two
either
roads, there were some houses.
There were houses on the other side of the road.
How about this? That's such a detailed sentence. Let's just leave it out.
Okay.
Because bad writing has no details whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the board sidewalks were gray with trampled snow, but at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the shopkeepers, having come back from dinner, were keeping well behind their frosty
The
doors.
shopkeepers
The
just
people who were in their
dinner.
houses.
What?
People who were in their houses.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. People were in their houses. The children were all in school, and there was nobody abroad in the streets but a few rough-looking countrymen in coarse overcoats with their long caps pulled down to their noses.
There's
Some
only-
guys
The
were in
kids were in
the kids were in school.
Wait.
The kids were in school and whatever he said.
Some guys were in school.
Okay, the kids were in school.
Some guys were in the street.
The kids, again, a totally boring verb, were in school. And I'm sorry, did you say some guys?
Yeah, some random guys.
No, just some guys.
No, we don't.
I kind of like some random guys. Okay.
That's okay. Leave it out.
Let's just use an and sign. That's bad writing, right?
The kids were in at school.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, oh,
Let's leave it in.
Hey, bad writing off the
You know
head.
Okay, what's our next one? Some of them had brought their wives to town, and now and then a red or plaid shawl flashed out of one of the stores and into the shelter.
People went from building to building.
There were some wives running around. People were shopping.
People were
The
shopping.
wives were in the
Ladies.
stores.
Ladies.
Were in the stores.
Ladies.
Ladies were shopping. We're almost there, guys. This is pretty awful. At the hitch bars along the street, a few heavy workhorses harnessed to the farm wagons shivered under their weight.
There were
They
some
were
old
horses.
We can't do there was again. I mean, that's just
Old
too
horses
bad.
were standing in the street.
That's
Old
worse.
horses were walking. Were stood.
There were
Old horses stood on the street.
cold horses stood in the street. Okay. About the station, everything was quiet, for there would not be another train until night. The train station.
There wasn't a train.
Let's think
They're
about-
just right. There wasn't a train.
What did we learn about the town from this detail? What does
Nothing.
this detail tell us? Well, it's the middle of the day, people are shopping, people are at work, and there won't be another train until night. But what does that tell us about the town? The fact that there's hardly ever any trains that come.
It was not.
It was not an important town, and is it in the middle of everything? Is there a lot of? It's a Grand Central Station, New York, with like lots going on. So how would we describe the town?
Empty.
Desolate.
Town was
A ghost
empty and what?
A ghost town.
No, that's what I thought.
Well, ghost town literally means like nobody lives there. But that's pretty. You're in the right direction. So what we want to do is she conveys information about the town through a really neat detail about the trains not coming very often. So we could say the train was empty and the town was empty and remote.
Or we could leave out.
Yeah, just leave out the sentence again.
What's
Another
that?
there was.
Oh, that's true.
Just
I
leave
say
it out.
leave
Let's
out
just
the
leave out the sentence.
Nobody. How about this? Nobody often came to the town.
Nobody really came to the town.
No visitors came.
No
Nobody.
visitors came often. That's good. That's kind of awkwardly worded too. I like
Yeah,
it.
all right.
No visitors came often. Before Debbie, right? Debbie? Yeah. Okay. Before Debbie gives us another dramatic reading of our beautiful creation, I want to talk about. Let's just look at the verbs that Willa Cather used in her passage. Okay. We have anchored. We have curling, eddying, huddled, straying, howling, straggled, flashed, harnessed, and shivered, right? What are our verbs? We have was, is,
State of being.
were, was,
Falling.
is falling.
Kind of blowing.
People were,
Falling.
the kids were.
Most of them are
You
words.
guys were. Oh look, we have a good one. A completely
They
boring
stood.
stood.
Alright, we need to take that out.
Falling apart.
Let's take a tally. How many was it? One, two. We've got two. How many words do we have? There you go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's awesome. Because this is a really short paragraph. Okay, Debbie, would you do us the honor, please?
Alright.
Thank you.
The wind was blowing through the town of Hanover. The snow was falling on the houses. There were some.
You got the wrong tenses.
Oh, let's just leave it that
Who
way.
cares?
Let's leave that that way.
Snow was falling on the houses. There were some houses. The dull houses were falling apart. There was a road that went through the town. People were in their houses. The kids were in school. Some random guys were in the street. Ladies were shopping. Cold horses stood in the streets. No visitors came often.
I like it.
Oh my gosh, it's so horrible. Thank you. This is perhaps the worst piece of writing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I hope you guys had fun.
That was
I did.
Thanks for coming. And read O Pioneers because it's a really good book. And it's a lot better than this. Thanks for coming, guys.